Hello and greetings, boys and girls. My name is Ifeoma McNeal. I serve with Jackson Public Schools. I am the assistant principal currently at Galloway Elementary School. And on today, I am pleased to be here to read to you actually my new book, Where Did They Get That Red Hair? So this is hot off the press, and I'm very excited that I get to share this brand new book with our students. Where Did They Get That Red Hair is written by myself, Ifeoma McNeal, and illustrated by Hattis B. Hi, my name is Erica D. McNeal, as it starts. The D stands for Dejanique. Don't try to pronounce it. Just know that it's a combination of my father's middle name and my godmother's name. I love my middle name. I just don't like to use it much. Erica, pronounced Erica, traditionally spelled, is what I write at the top of my school papers. And it's what most people know me as. Yep, my mom is an African American, has an African American name, and evidently she wanted me to embrace the beauty of my roots as well. I was born in what they call D-Town, otherwise known as Dallas, Texas, in 1998. My dad's name is Eric. We have the same initials, and anyone who knows me knows that I'm a daddy's girl. Around the time I was born, my mom was totally into the neo soul singer queen herself, Erykah Badu. Badu is also a native of Dallas, Texas. So you see, my mom was inspired by the entertainer Miss Erykah Badu. She was thankful of others, and thus there goes I. One day, hopefully, I'll get to meet Miss Erykah Badu because we have a lot in common. This all explains some of the inspiration surrounding the creation of my name. I get many questions about the unique spelling version of my name. However, you know what gets even more attention is the color of my hair. That's right, my hair. Oh my God. My older sister Leah, short for Olivia, and I can't seem to go anywhere without people staring at us, shaking their heads, and someone stopping to ask us, where y'all get that red hair? From place to place, city to city, and all neighborhoods in between, people are amazed to see two little beautiful girls of African American descent with natural red hair and freckles. I had no idea so many people even cared about hair and its color, but apparently so. Where y'all get that red hair? Where y'all get that red hair? People constantly ask us this question. The problem is, when we try to answer them, they don't believe us. My mother is always on the move. One day she woke up, Liv and I, and told us to get dressed for a full day of errands and full day of shop visits. My mother Liv is also my sister Liv, is always excited to go to stores. She loves to shop and dress up. I, on the other hand, could care less and would rather stay at home curled up in a book or play games on the computer. Hurry up, girls, my mom would call. In my head, I would go, bah humbug, I'm coming, geesh, was my reply. All of the hassle, waiting in line, and making polite talk with friendly strangers all just felt like a daunting chore. Only for my mom, I would oblige. And of course, to avoid getting a spanking for resisting, I started to get dressed, put on my favorite feel-good boots, beat my sister in the kitchen to eat a quick breakfast, and soon we were headed out. Our first trip was to the shoe store. For days, Mom had been talking about how she needed comfortable shoes to wear to ease the discomfort in her feet and her back. Liv and I love to shop for shoes too. I tend to go for the most colorful shoe I can find. Liv likes cute heels and sandals. My mom is a tennis shoe gal. While Liv and I browse close by my mom in the shop, Mom takes a seat. The shoe keeper approaches my mom to greet and assist her. After returning with a pair of shoes for my mom to try on, the shoe keeper notices my sister and I hair color and says, "You two girls have very pretty hair. Where y'all get that red hair? My sister and I look at each other, then quickly my sister answers, we were born with it. The lady looks at my mom, who has black hair, and sighs, and says, this is interesting. My mom looks up at the shoe clerk and says, yes, it's beautiful and unique. I'll take a wide in this shoe, please. Still astonished by our hair, the shoe clerk asked my mom, well, did you dye your daughter's hair? My mom said, no, they were born with it. The shoe clerk asked, well, did they eat a lot of shrimp? I've heard that red hair comes from eating too many shrimp. We all said in unison, no. My sister released a chuckle and said, I'm allergic to seafood anyway, so I know I haven't been eating any shrimp. The shoe clerk said, well, perhaps you stayed in the sun too long, and that's how you got your red hair. Yeah, that's how you got your red hair. I couldn't resist and responded, no, no, and no. Like we said, we were born with it. My mom looked at me with a smile, shook her head, and hurried us to the counter so we could go ahead and pay for her shoes so that we could leave. Not far from the shoe store was a grocery store that we entered. Now, Mom likes to pick up at least one item of the 5 food groups in the pyramid. Fruits are my favorite. While on the fresh fruits and vegetable aisle, a stranger passing by stopped and exclaimed, wow, where did you get that red hair? My mom responded, their hair is naturally red. They were born with it. The person went on to ask, well, where did it come from? Did you dye their hair red? Did you eat too many shrimp and maybe that turned their hair red? Did they stay in the sun too long and perhaps that turned their hair red? My mom looked at the stranger and politely said, no, sir. Simply put, they were born with it. The stranger looked as if to be confused and said, really? Liv and I shouted at the same time, yes, we were born with it. It's one thing for me to get irritated, but now the day was growing long, and my sister Liv had enough of the store visits, stares, and questions by strangers. Liv looked at Mom and said, please, Mom, not another store. I'm ready to go home. Mom told the girls, no more stores for today. However, I do have one last stop to make, and that's to the doctor's office for a checkup before we go home. When we entered the doctor's office, Mom was called back to visit privately with the doctor. Mom pointed to the seats in the waiting room area and instructed Liv and I to sit and just wait. While waiting, I noticed the stares of people who passed by. Thankfully, most were in a hurry and kept walking. Liv, just know that if one person walks up to us and asks, where y'all get that red hair, I'm going to scream. Liv looked at me, dropped her head, and shook her head from left to right. As soon as this occurred, a doctor walks up and greets us. You are pretty young girls with beautiful hair. Thank you, Liv and I both replied. Where did y'all get that red hair? Not wasting any time, I jumped up in the waiting room chair and stood every bit of 4 feet tall to make an announcement for all to hear once and for all, screaming to the top of my lungs, we were born with it. The doctor looked calmly and says, well, little girl, get down, it's okay. One thing is for sure, it's definitely in your genes. OMG. Now people think our red hair really came from our genes. All I could do was put my hand on my forehead and drop down in my seat. My mom walked out of the doctor's office at the perfect time to get us from the waiting room before we were tired and had had enough. Home sweet home, we were headed. Liv and I got home. When Liv and I got home, we were so tired we fell fast asleep. I don't even remember waking for supper. The next morning, we woke up and both my parents could not be found anywhere in the house. Liv and I were home with Grandma Lily. She was the best. Whenever she came to visit Grandma Lily, we felt safe. The house was always tidy with the smell of coffee and bacon in the air. She'd make the best cheese grits on the planet, play music on the piano for us, and use her sewing machine to make us nice skirts and dresses to wear. Well, after eating breakfast and doing a few activities with Grandma, the front door opens and in walks Mom and Dad with a brand new baby boy. And guess what? He has red hair too. Liv and I are so happy to have a little brother. Now when we go out, people look at our red hair and our little baby brother, and they go back and forth, and they look at the color of his hair and they say, I guess you were born with it. The end. Included in where did they get that red hair are also a few little fun facts. And I'll share 10 fun facts for parents who may have children with red hair. Fact number 1. Your red-haired child will be the star of the nursery. They will be flattered with compliments from nearly everyone they meet. Number 2, random people will approach your child and want to touch their red hair as if it carries some magical power. Number 3, your child would definitely identify with nearly every ginger-haired cartoon character they see. Red hairs are in good company, you know, from Chucky, from Red Rugrats, to Kim Possible, to Princess Fiona from Shrek. Number 4, you will own a huge supply of sunscreen if you have a red-haired child. Number 5, you will never lose your child in a crowd unless it's a redhead event. Number 6, you will research all sides of your family, becoming well-versed in genealogy, trying to discover just where the red hair trait came from. Number 7, your child will never be satisfied with drawings of themselves and the crayons that do ginger hair justice. Number 8, redheads are incredibly rare, and because of the attention they get, they are known for having short tempers. Number 9, redheads are creative and confident beings. And last, 10, as a parent, you will come to realize more and more each day just how special you are to be a parent of a red-haired child. The end.